on grooving, keep on grooving.
Nice Radio presents Healthy Vibes, a live health education program aired on this station on Saturday mornings. Healthy Vibes looks at the total person, physical, emotional, social, and spiritual, with emphasis not only on diseases and conditions, but also on the importance of individual, family, professional, and political responsibilities to health and well-being. Healthy Vibes addresses issues not often talked about. It is solution-focused. So join us this Saturday and every Saturday for Healthy Vibes on Nice Vibes on Nice Radio. I am Vin Abbott.
No matter where you are in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, your radio is Nice Radio. 101.3, 96.7, 90.3 FM.
Everybody move, let your body move. Keep on grooving, keep on grooving.
Nice Radio presents Healthy Vibes, a live health education program aired on this station on Saturday mornings. Healthy Vibes looks at the total person, physical, emotional, social, and spiritual, with emphasis not only on diseases and conditions, but also on the importance of individual, family, professional, and political responsibilities to health and well-being. Healthy Vibes addresses issues not often talked about. It is solution-focused. So join us this Saturday and every Saturday for Healthy Vibes on Nice Vibes on Nice Radio. I am Vin Abbott.
Okay, and we go to the line. Vin Abbott, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Justin. Good morning to you.
All right, and well, you're coming in bright and strong. I believe you have good weather condition.
I just came off the line with my brother in England, Dennis, and he said to me, Vin, I'm breathing.
And that's important.
That's what I'm saying to you. I'm breathing, and I'm grateful.
All right.
Whatever the weather conditions, I'm breathing, we're happy.
Well, we are in a world that is full of all sort of stuff, and now we are seeing the monetization, if I may use that language, of COVID-19, fueling the speculation that this is all man-made, wherein manufacturers are now jockeying themselves, countries are jockeying themselves in a power position for sale of vaccines. Your view on that?
What is happening now actually started a long time ago. From the very beginning of this pandemic, there were stories and rumors abounding as regards the genesis of the pandemic. So I'm not surprised. As a matter of fact, I've stated this before in one of the programs, referencing issues related to geopolitics and other things like that. And so I am really not surprised that the fact that this story has gotten traction. And we'll hear more. I've heard some of the stories, as regards the vaccine. A story came out a couple of days ago here in Canada where a millionaire couple in Canada went to a northern territory to get vaccinated, and they were caught, and obviously they've been charged. And those vaccines were sent for the indigenous people of that region, of that territory. But this millionaire couple, these two guys, the husband and wife, found it fit for reasons only known to them to go there and pose as indigenous people in that area.
Something I'm scared about, because I also heard sometime earlier this month, wherein Moderna, the different manufacturers are producing vaccines. In other words, let's say St. Vincent get a batch from AstraZeneca this month.
Yes.
And you get another batch from the Madonna, I believe, is the other company.
Well, you have Moderna, you have the Pfizer, and the
Right.
all
Okay.
these, yes.
My understanding is once you've started vaccination with one batch and you're getting a second round of vaccine, you cannot go over to a different batch. Your second shot should be the same as the first. That's my understanding from listening to some of the things that are coming up.
Yes, well, that is the plan. That you start with, say, the Pfizer. You should stay with that for the second shot.
Right.
However, there have been discussions around whether or not it would be okay to switch, and I've heard discussions at the highest level as regards that. The jury is still out on that.
I am not going to take any chance. Stay with one thing.
Gotcha. Okay, Justin, I guess this is a topic for discussion, perhaps
Another
time.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting one, and something in which I have interest. I myself am earmarked to be vaccinated sooner rather than later, and I'm looking forward to that. And the point I want to make here, though, I think is an important point to put out front, that even though you're vaccinated, it doesn't mean that you cannot spread the virus, or that you would not. You can still have the virus in your nasal, pharyngeal passages in your nose and throat, and you won't get sick as if you didn't have the vaccine.
Oh, okay.
But you can still transmit the virus to others.
Wow.
Hence, it's important for us still to practice physical distancing, wearing your mask and other things like that.
Okay.
It doesn't mean because you're vaccinated that you cannot pass on the virus to loved ones at home or wherever.
Wow.
That is important to hear. Yes, you won't get as sick, you won't develop the symptoms, you should not, as if you weren't vaccinated, but you can still be shedding the virus and pass the virus on to others. Very important for us to continue practicing the protocols as established by the authorities.
Okay. Well, it's all yours.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all listening to Healthy Vibes on Nice Radio with Justin Douglas. I want to say a special good morning to our listeners, yes, on Nice Radio on St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the Caribbean, globally, far afield, wherever you are listening to us on Nice, or whether it's on Kankadi Radio, Fun City Radio, their Success, or Bay Hill News Network. Good morning, good day to you. Justin, on January the 14th, the legend died, and he was put to rest on January the 26th, last Tuesday. And the funeral service for the late Pharaoh Randy D took place at the St. George's Anglican Cathedral, Kingstown, and it was a wonderful send-off for Randy D. On behalf of the entire Abbott family, including my brother there in England, I extend condolence to the Dopwell and related families, especially the daughter of Randy D, Dr. Fidela Dopwell Louis-Bike, and her immediate family, siblings, friends, fans, colleagues in radio from the distant past through the years to the end, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines on the passing of Pharaoh Randy D. Dopwell, my mentor in radio and friend. I feel honored and privileged doing this today, challenging as it is. Randy D., small in stature, a giant in broadcast journalism. He understood the nature of things. My focus in this short tribute. The seeds were germinated into our wonderful relationship, yes, many years ago. Yes, the seeds were sown way back in the 70s. At that time, Randy D. was blazing the trail as an employee of 705 Radio onto NBC Radio. I was an active youth in the Georgetown area, involved in church, youth movements, sports, culture, as in the Georgetown Folk Creation, Carnival. Yes, rural carnival. See where I'm going? I was the manager of the Prophet's Calypso tent with the likes of Gao, Crazy Angle, Isaja, the late Sparrow, and Prince Eichel at the age of 17 years. I was also an aspiring MC with eyes and ears on the talk of the country, Randy, looking for tips, techniques, style, and more to help me in my development. Yes, we youngsters looked up to him. He has this way of educating, encouraging, and entertaining. He made it look so simple. From early o'clock, we realized that he was the real deal. Entertain he did, on stage with the mic, on the wheels of steel, using his magical fingers, and his understanding of the nature of things, in this case, the moods of patrons, and playing for them and not himself. He, along with his buddy of the then disco connection, Earl Cap Stevens, the band he managed in the late 70s into the 80s on St. Vincent and the Grenadines to North America. I'm talking here about Exodus, Kings of the Road, along with Afitusos, musical giants out of Georgetown, reigned supreme in the northeast of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, particularly at Spotlight Stadium. Those were the days. Those were the days. As you may imagine, our paths crossed on numerous occasions, with me tapping his brain for ideas and inspirations. He never failed to oblige this youngster and many other curious young men across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Today, I'm better off for having had those enriching experiences, interactions, and all with Randy on the steps of Spotlight Stadium and elsewhere. Thanks, my friend. Over the weekend, on reflecting with me, Doug Howard of Vinci Liberators USA and St. Vincent and the Grenadines fame said, and I'm quoting here, Randy has touched many lives in a most positive way, more than most people I have ever known. He was able to relate to the common man across all age groups. He had a rapport with the young, those like us and the seniors. End of quote. Well, we went our separate ways in the 80s, focused on personal and professional interest. As fate would have it, it was in the sports bar and restaurant of Sid Murphy, my former teammate of the Rivals Cricket Club, that we reconnected in the flesh. That was just after the general elections on St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 1994. I recall the moment as if it were yesterday. In that signature look of his peeping over his specs, he asks, "What's up, B?" Of course, he jabbed me a bit through my defeat. He congratulated me on my performance. And in one short sweep of words, he encouraged, quoting here, "Keep trying. Life is loaded with opportunities and choices. All up to you, B." End of quote. He understood the nature of things. Friends, stay with me. Please, let us fast forward to Canada, 2008, the year Randy returned to Toronto, Canada. Apart from wanting to visit his old stomping ground, he loved fall, the foliage and all. And buddies like the late Tim Boss Otley and Janice Billy, and other friends here with us, Carla Smithy Smith, and members of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Sports Club of Toronto, Candy Dumledlow, Jim Lewis, Teach Malcolm Galway, Elliot Jumbie Holder, Sonia Samuel, and others. Folks at Humber College, where he pursued advanced education, not to forget his beloved brother, Philip, and family. Randy was determined to promote St. Vincent and the Grenadines at a higher level, via television, yes, via cable television, using his creation, Vibes Caribbean TV series. Boy, oh boy, that was a challenge, and Randy was equaled to the task. Guess what? He understood the nature of things. In collaboration with some of the aforementioned persons, with yours truly as point person, we got to work. Randy did his research. I wrote the proposals. Others did the groundwork, re-promotion, and community participation. Real grassroots stuff in Toronto. This included a massive launching of Vice Caribbean at the venue where the SVG Sports Club usually hosts their Caribana fundraiser dance. It featured top Vincentian artists like Sting, Crazy Angle, Norman Roberts of Black Sand fame, DJ Fusion, the late Talbot Ifall Collins, and more. It reminded many of his signature Christmas card show from T.O. in the earlier years. In short, this ad hoc collaboration resulted in Vibes Caribbean being showcased on the Cricket Channel for weeks here in Canada, with repeat broadcast at no extra costs. Still with me? Friends, Randy and his ad hoc team consulted with other TV channels to showcase the wonders of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Caribbean via Vibes Caribbean. Only to hear, yes, only to hear, we need some Canadian content. Yes, we need some Canadian content. Well, Randy's counterpoints were: one, the Caribbean diaspora contributes significantly to Canadian content, and two, the Caribbean as a tourism destination makes up a huge part of Canadian content. Despite his valiant efforts, my friends, Vibes Caribbean, while meeting the qualitative and potential quantitative standards in Canada, did not make the breakthrough it deserved. But Randy understood the nature of things. He was not daunted. As if not enough, during the last stint in Canada, walking along with his brother Philip and others, three Vinci cultural icons, Randy aptly described them as the pillars: Alston Beckett Cyrus, Winston Susu, and Cyril Scorcher Thomas. He produced and presented a show he dubbed Vinci Legends. I recall one performance taking place in Scarborough in the Greater Toronto area, and another in Montreal. I was present for the one in Montreal. It was fantastic. Friends, Sir Randy was on a lifelong mission on behalf of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Caribbean. He knew the cost. He persevered despite the odds. In 2012, my family and I were in Boston for a friend's wedding reception. Following the function, we attended a Vinci gathering hosted by one Elroy Daddy Thomas, originally from Sion Hill, and he is the uncle of Monty Kippett of Bay Hill News Network. Friends, who do you think greeted us at the door? Who do you think? Yes, you're correct, it was Randy. On an October weekend of 2018, I went to New York to visit with an ailing relative. I also took the opportunity to attend the annual bingo of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Garifuna Indigenous Peoples Group. I expected to meet and greet many Vincentians whom I had not seen for many years, and my expectations were met manifold. But guess who greeted me in the hallway? Again, you're correct. It was Randy D. The Great One was present, looking fine and having a good time with his people. His medical treatment was working. We hung for a good bit. He was still committed to reaching out via radio like on Fun City Radio with Scorpion and other local radio stations with cultural ambassadors like Super Eyes and Associates. Friends, the name Randy D was and will always be deeply embedded in the psyche of Vincentians and Caribbean folks, amongst others. Let's bring this home now. Please stay with me. In 2009, on his return to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Healthy Vibes with yours truly on Nice Vibes with Randy D on Nice Radio on Saturday mornings became a reality. A direct radio link between Canada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines with a global outreach. Thanks to the management and staff of Nice Radio, Mr. Douglas DeFreitas and others there, Natalie and others, especially Monty Kippett for his extraordinary technical support for more than a decade. The business community, listeners, Healthy Vibes, along with View from the Outside with Brayton Horn, which came on stream a few years later, gave Randy one of the reasons, not the only one of the reasons to shine and walk up the hill for more than 11 years. It gave me the opportunity to give back to SVG, the Vincentian Caribbean diaspora, and more, even on the coldest of Saturday mornings here in Canada, when sleeping in was and is often a more attractive option. But saying thanks for the simplest of extended goodwill and meaning it was part of Randy's DNA. He was a grateful person. Randy was a grateful person. It is no wonder that the feeding of the less fortunate on Heroes Day, March 14th, was so well supported on homeland and abroad. Continuing his mom's legacy meant a lot to him. So did the Night Riders program on Nice Radio on Thursday nights. How can one explain this unusual occurrence? Randy D died on Thursday, January 14th, 2021, the same date 14 years after Lucian Salouche Small died. Salouche conceptualized and hosted the Night Riders program until his death on January 14th, 2007. Two Vinci legends passed away on January 14th, 14 years apart. How significant is that? I'm sure Night Riders like Big Youth, The Skyman, Kay, Julian, Rufy, Percy, Teacher Bisden, Pepsi, Chalice, to name just a few, will let you know at some point. For more than 4 decades, Randy traveled on and off the beaten paths to unearth, harness, highlight the talents and skills, works, hopes and dreams, and the challenges, possible tested and untested solutions. The goodness in and for humanity, especially for all of Vinci. History, I believe, will be more than generous to him. Hey, bring this home, Vin, please. Many have already testified. Many more will. For example, here's some words from Mr. Elliot Jumbie Holder here in Toronto, originally from Beckway. Quoting here, he was a walking encyclopedia on culture, dates, occurrences. He had a voice like no other. He reached lots of people internationally. End of quote. In 2017, he was honored by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Association of Toronto. Ken Farrell received the award on his behalf. Here's how Malcolm Garvey, honorary lifelong member of that association, puts it, quoting here, Randy D., a national treasure. Because of his commitment to his profession and causes for which he fought, he could never stop giving his all. Because of his loving nature, he kept on uplifting others. Because of his enormous talent and giving spirit, we admired and praised him. Because of his humility and indeed his patriotism, the people exalted him. Therefore, despite his diminutive frame, his presence was felt in every room, and his stride on the stage of SVG, the Caribbean, and beyond as a mighty colossal. End of quote. Friends, in closing, I wish to thank the family for being so gracious in allowing us to grieve and mourn with them officially amidst all the challenges associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. Thanks to Brother Philip and Dougie of Nice Radio for alerting me in mid-October last year on Randy's failing health. My family and I are grateful to God that we had the opportunity to speak with him on 3 subsequent occasions, 2 at his home and 1 on air, along with Justin Douglas, his final Healthy Vibes program, perhaps his last live radio program on November the 7th, 2020. Family, relatives and all, he told me with certainty that he was ready for his transition. He understood the nature of things, including his own mortality. Rest, my friend. You had the total package. You were and will always be the music recipe. Be of blessed memory. I'm out of here, taking 2 steps to the rear. Thanks be. Thanks be. Thanks be. Bye.
90.3